Good afternoon, fourth graders. For today's math lesson, you'll need your All About Angles worksheet, one piece of grid paper, any color Play-Doh of your choosing, different colored pipe cleaners, a protractor and a ruler, and lastly, a pen, pencil, a red marker, an orange marker, and you can choose the last color. So last class period, we talked about planes, parallel lines, intersecting lines, and perpendicular lines. I showed you a representation of these terms by folding a piece of paper and we made a model. But today we're going to focus on angles. Angles are all around us, everywhere we look. Can anyone tell me what an angle is? Great job! An angle is the amount of turn or space between two lines that meet each other. If we wanted to describe an angle in more mathematical terms, we could say that an angle is formed by two rays that have the same endpoint, known as the vertex. Let's dive into this a bit. Okay, students, it's time to be hands-on. I'm going to have you pull out your All About Angles worksheet. You're going to follow along with me. So when I give you the definition, you're going to write that under that term. Then you're going to use your pipe cleaner and Play-Doh to form these ideas. This will be a great reference and a visual aid for you to use for future studying. So the first term we have is line. A line is a straight path of points that goes on indefinitely or forever in opposite directions. You can see I use my green pipe cleaner to form the line with two arrows on each side, and I use my Play-Doh to represent the points on my line. You can see that we denote a line AB with two arrows facing opposite directions. The next term is a point. A point is an exact location in space. We illustrate these by using dots. Think of tips of pointed objects or corners of boxes. Next term is a line segment. A line segment is 2 points on a line and all the points between them. So with our pipe cleaner, we're going to make 2 points on the end of our line segment. And this can be denoted as seen to the right of the pipe cleaner, line segment AB. Next we have a ray. A ray is part of a line that has one endpoint and continues forever in one direction. I decided to have 2 points on my ray, point D and point E. We would denote this by ray DE with an arrow facing to the right. Next is degrees. We measure angles in degrees. It can be seen by this symbol, which is a little circle. Now we're going to talk about the 4 different types of angles. We have a right angle, which has a measure of 90 degrees. This can be shown with a red square. Whenever you see a red square, you know that has to be a right angle. Next we have an acute angle. An acute angle is a measure less than 90 degrees and greater than 0 degrees. A great way to remember an acute angle is to think of a small animal. Aw, that's so acute. Next we have an obtuse angle, which is an angle with a measure greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. A great way to remember an obtuse angle is to think of an obese hippopotamus. It's very large, so it must be greater than 90 degrees. The last angle we're going to talk about today is the straight angle. This has a measure of exactly 180 degrees and it forms a straight line. There are 2 other parts of an angle that I want to talk about. We can call the 2 joining rays that form an angle the arms. The vertex is the common endpoint at which the 2 rays meet to form the angle. We're going to do a quick activity. When I say a certain angle, I want you to show me what that angle would look like with your own arms. Pretend the vertex is your head. All right, ready? Show me what a right angle looks like. Show me what an obtuse angle looks like. Show me what an acute angle would look like. And show me what a straight angle would look like. Good job, everyone. Now that we have defined the different types of angles, we're going to do a pair and share. I want you to look around our classroom and find 3 angles. Then partner up with a friend and discuss your findings. Okay, now that we did our pair and share, can anyone give me an example of a right angle they found in our classroom? Yes. The door. That's a great example of a right angle, when it's open all the way. What about an acute angle? The clock? That's a great example, because if we look at the clock, this forms less than 90 degrees. I have a question. What if the clock was at 3 o'clock? What type of angle would that be? A right angle. You got it. Now, did anyone find an example of an obtuse angle? Your scissors? That's a great example. If we look at our scissors, this forms an obtuse angle. Great job, everyone. Now we're going to do an activity called What's in a Name? For this activity, you will need your grid paper, your ruler, protractor, red marker, orange marker, and any other marker you want. First, we're going to watch a quick video on how to use a protractor because we've never used these before. A protractor is a great tool to help us measure angles. Okay, now that we watched the protractor video, we're going to get started. I'm going to show you my example, and then you can try on your own. So, I took my grid paper, and I used my ruler to write my name in all capital letters like this. Then, I used my protractor to measure the angles that I saw in my name. I used red for right angles, orange for obtuse, and pink for acute. I then labeled my angles, and I was sure to make the square symbol whenever I stumbled upon a right angle. Now it's your turn. Once you're finished with this activity, you can turn it in to me so that I can check for understanding. We will then hang up our names all around the classroom to remind us that angles are everywhere. Once you're finished with this activity, we're going to do a reflection, self-evaluation, and we're going to do a 3, 2, 1 for this. So I want you to say 3 things you learned, 2 things that you're still a little confused about, and then you're going to write down 1 question that you have. Have fun, everyone!